Hey guys, welcome back to Trade or Die. So we're gonna continue doing what we're doing, just kind of back testing the history, and really trying to refine the strategy. Yesterday I went through about a week, and what I noticed was that on auto break even trades, it came out to just as much as trades that were to just go to stop loss. But I'm going to talk about the strategy once again. First and foremost, stop losses, we're going to have $9 minimum. Take profit is going to be twice that, so 18. And what that looks like is essentially 36 ticks for the stop, 72 for the take profit. And then as far as auto break even, I think I'm going to adjust that to $10, which is 40 ticks once I look at that. What we're going to be looking for is a break in structure, whether that's minor and major, and then a pullback. And then I'm going to just, make comments on, just the discretion of the trade. Usually on a pullback, I don't want to see a wick longer than the body. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh, and then last thing, the body prior to the pullback has to be at least $8 minimum. So we're gonna do September 18th, and then we're gonna finish on the 22nd. So day one, 5 minute, let's get into it. So 6 o'clock, break structure, pullback. Are we gonna trade this? Let's not trade it since it's 6, and we'll start our trade days at 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, 6:50, I'd be up. Am I gonna trade this? No, we're still waiting on that break in structure. Price did a weird pullback, so we're literally right in the middle if we take the trade here. So that's wait. Price pulls down around 7:20. There's a pullback, but it's not the pullback that we're looking for, so we wait some more. Price continues pushing down. Price pulls up. Not a break in structure. However, we do get a pullback. Goes up again. Break structure. Here's a pullback. I don't necessarily like the body here. Let's see how it would turn out if we actually did take it. So this trade would have been a loss if we did take it. In addition to that, if auto break even is actually set up, it would have hit auto break even because price came up here and then back down. So we'll just take that out for now. So price comes back down to support area. We have a nice pullback and then a push down. Depending on the type of trader you are, it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually take those sells. If you're still in the belief that the market's going down, then by all means take those sells, So in this case, I do want to take it. I do. So in this case, let's keep this trade, and then we'll continue working through the day. 8:30. So price pulls up once again. There's no real breaking structure here, so we wait. Pulls up, pulls back down. No real pullbacks to take. Price comes up. Break structure, and here's a pullback here. The bad thing about this trade is that the wick is way too long, so we probably don't even want to touch it. Same thing with this one too. Wick is way too long. Let's not touch it. Price pulls all the way back down. It breaks minor structure here and here, and then there's a pullback, and again, the wicks are too long, so we just leave it alone. What's nice about this area too is that this is where all the wicks are, right? And structure is really starting to form. So price comes up, comes back down to meet the wicks down here, and then pushes up once again. There's a nice pullback here. However, again, this pullback body is too big compared to the previous candle, so won't be taking it. Price pushes up again, and then boom, we get our first nice pullback, breaking structure, and this is probably a trade I would take. Price comes up straight to TP and back down to entry. So let's continue. Okay, so price pulls up, pulls back down, up, down. We get a nice little pullback here, back to support area. Price comes back up, and we get a nice pullback. Bad thing about this trade is that the wick here on the pullback too long, so we don't take it. So now price continues, comes back down, doesn't hit support yet. However, there's a pullback here that's decent, but again, we're not going to take it because we're thinking about, you know, those buys. So price comes back up, it couldn't meet resistance, and then continues back down. And then by 2-3 o'clock, we get a nice pullback over here. Bad thing about this is that the wick came too low, so we'll leave that alone, right? Price comes up, back down, and there's a nice pullback, and we'll take the sells here only because we broke the structure, because we were looking for that pullback, right? What I noticed sometimes is that sometimes on the first pullback it's not the best one, and the second one actually produces, you know, better results. So let's look at how this one would turn out. So this one would hit take profit, and that is great. So let's keep both of those days, and then we'll call this day a day. 3 trades, 1 2 3, dub, dub, dub. Would we get all these trades in a day? It really depends, right? How often you're looking at the charts, and how much time you have available. So let's move into the 19th. 7 o'clock. Let's keep moving. Okay, so now we're at 7 o'clock. Perfect. So we're into 7 o'clock. We're looking at market structure. From here, it looks like we should be going up. However, we see price go down. Nice pullback over here. However, the wick is too long, so we leave it, let it go. Price pulls up, comes back down, pulls up, and here's our first nice pullback. For this one, I would have to use a bit of discretion. This is much different than the one that we've seen over here. No, not here. Where is it? Than the one that we've seen here, because the wicks are much longer, right? There's a much longer wick range compared to something like this. So we're going to take this trade. It's going to hit take profit. And then again, on trades like this, where you do have that breakout because of the structure that is breaking, you can literally move your take profit even lower, right? There's another opportunity right here on the pullback. Instant take profit. And then we have another opportunity right here, which, you know, it's a third pullback, the third decent pullback for my strategy. Usually I don't want to take them at the third one, especially when it's going strong like this, but let's take it because it looks good, and that would be a loss. So now we're at 10 o'clock. We have another great pullback right here. Let's take it, and again, a loss. And that's perfectly fine, right? Something like this would probably be auto break even. So now we wait it out, and we're gonna wait for another pullback. So now what happens is price comes up, we break structure here, the minor structure, price pulls up again, break minor structure, we have a little pullback, but this is not good enough. The body here is way too small, and the wicks are too long relative to the body. So price pulls down, comes back up to resistance, the minor, pulls down to the support area that it built, pushes back up, and then we have a little pullback right here. This is a great pullback. The only thing is it doesn't break any minor structure, right? Because this is where our minor structure is, right over here. So now this trade would not be taken. Price comes back down into support before it blasts up at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, we get the nice close above the resistance, the minor resistance, and price keeps pushing. We get our first pullback right here. So this trade, it will be tough to take. Like, let's see how big the body is. 23 to 30, that's $7. Let me take a look at this body too. 53 to 63, $8. So yeah, this trade we probably wouldn't take. And then all right, so let's continue. So we would not take this trade, and that's completely fine. I'm starting to think about like another strategy that I can use when something like this happens, because when you see this push, like, you know that it should continue, right? This push really resembles something like this, where the pullback wick is longer, but then you also have a second pullback too, and you can play off the second pullback, right? Just like here, right? Exact same type of play. Let me see if there's another area where it does that. Let's see. Kind of right here. This one would be kind of tough though. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, but it still works. Crazy. Let's look at those ones later for another day. But let's continue into the session. So now it's 1 o'clock. We have a nice pullback right here that I probably would want to take. But let's see how big the body is. So 71 to 78. Let's not take it. So now we get into 2 o'clock. Again over here, this wick is pretty big. So let's not actually take it because the wick is too big. I'm trying to use as much discretion as I can, and also I'm really trying to think about what I would do in a live situation. You know, it's really tough to have that same thought process while you can see like what's happening on the charts already. Hindsight's 20/20, like they say. But after this pullback isn't too good. Wick is too long on the body here on the pullback. So now let's go to the next day. So now we are in the 20th, and I said we're going to be going until 22nd. Okay, so let's get to 7 o'clock. Okay, so 7 o'clock, we're in the market. Price looks like it's moving up. So we see price go up, come back down, and we have a nice pullback, but there's no real break in structure. So we could either take the trade early or not take it. Depending on how thirsty you are, you can take it. It all depends, right? Let's say that we're taking buys in the direction of the trend. So let's not take this. So let's wait. Price comes back up to resistance, minor, back down and up and down for the pullback. Up again. This pullback right here is too big compared to this candle, so we leave it. Price pushes down and then all the way up here. We have a nice pullback here, but again, too big compared to the previous candle. Price comes down, possibly because of news. Pushes back up, down, and then we have a crazy wick over here. For this trade, I wouldn't take it. This wick right here, way too long. It's a bit dangerous. It would have been a great trade, yes, but again, like, I really have to use my discretion, right, if I'm going to stay in this game for long. So I would not take it. Price comes back down, pullback right here, but again, the wicks are too long and it looks like it's actually rejecting this area, right? There's a ton of wicks. Price comes back up, does a pullback, and then up again. This pullback again right here, this wick is longer than the body right here, so we leave it as is. Price comes back down, pullback, wick is too long, so we leave it. Push down, pullback, too far, we leave it. Push down, boom, boom. So let's say I did take this, instantly I'm stopped out. There's nothing is saving me here, right? Like, these wicks are that indicator for me. The only thing that would save me is if I actually take trade off the structure, right? If I know that this is like, you know, a minor support turn resistance, once it breaks here, then yeah, maybe I can play off of that, right? But I gotta make sure that my stop is above the last high, the last lower high here, right? So let's leave that out. Price continues. We get into 11 o'clock, 11:30. Price pushes up by 12. Again, we get another pullback, but the body is too big, so we stay out of it. It continues, and again, pull down, and a pullback, and again, this wick, too big, so we leave it. Now here again, structure plays out again, right? This is the resistance, and it just continues going down. By the time we get to 3:30, we finally get a great pullback. So let's take this trade, and then boom, we get stopped out. But you know what? That is okay. That's completely okay. So price continues down, another pullback, but by this time it's 4 o'clock and these bodies are way too small anyway, you know. Over here it might have, depending on which direction it goes first, it might have actually auto break even because of the 40 pips in there, or 40 ticks. But yeah, once we go through it, we'll take a look. So now we'll continue into the 21st. All right, so now we're in the 21st, 7 o'clock. So price is on the way down. It is great. I want to just check this right here. Wow. So yeah, price is on the way down. It's looking great. And so price is still going down. We have our first great pullback here in session, 7 o'clock, but this is way too long, so we don't take it. Price continues pushing down, another pullback, but the body's too big and these bodies are too small. Price comes back down again, and what do we see? 90, 85. Again, the body is still too small. Price pulls down again, pullback. What do we have here? This is, let's say it's 80, and then 88. We can take this pullback. Price hits TP, and then we have another pullback over here, which looks great to me. We take it and we instantly lose, and that's completely okay. For something like this, you can probably get out early, but it depends on, you know, if you're watching the trade or not. I probably wouldn't even be watching it, so it is what it is. 9:30, price comes back up. There's crazy rejection here, and it's keeping hold of that resistance. Price pulls down, pulls back up, right? We don't really break anything, but we have a beautiful pullback, and then price continues going up. For me, this wick is just kind of too long, especially since we're looking for sells, right? We're going down. You know, we made a lower low as well too. So it's not that taking buys is a bad idea here. This would actually be profitable if we took it. However, you know, we gotta be consistent with our discretion as well too, right? I would love to take it if I was on a roll for today, you know, 3 trades in a row. However, for this exercise, we're not going to take it, and that's completely fine. So 1020 comes, we get to the previous high, right? Pull back down into the pullback area over here. We push up again, and then we get another great pullback. Issue with this is this candle right here, the wick is too long, and that is perfectly fine. So we're not going to take it because again we're going to be looking for sells. So price pushes down again and we get our pullback, but again this wick is too long, so we leave it be. Price pushes down once again, we get a first break in minor structure to the downside, pullback, but we lose this trade. Again, perfectly fine. So we wait it out. Price comes back up again, a pullback, wick is too long, moves back down, and then there's no pullbacks until this area, and then it's 1 o'clock. We get massive rejection over here after consolidating for a bit, and then a move down. We get our pullback, move down, and then we have another pullback here, but again the wick is way too long. So what do we see? How big is this body anyway? 32. Wait, 24 to 32. That's exactly $8. But again, wick is too long, so we leave it. Price continues into 4 o'clock, and that is that. So we had 1, 2, 3 trades today, and now for the last day, the 22nd. So let's get into the 22nd. We'll get to 7 o'clock and we'll start the day. 7 o'clock here. We look like we're pretty much on the way up. A little slow, but that's completely fine. So what do we see here? This wick is longer than this one, so we stay out of it. Then we get a price move up, back to resistance. Price comes back down. We get a break in the minor, but again, no decent pullback. Price moves back up, then back down, and then back up again, and we get a nice pullback here. This wick is probably too long, so we don't get into it, but let's see how big the body is. 22 to 16, 4, 2. Okay, that's $8, but again, the wick is too long, so we leave it as is. Price pulls back down, and then it pushes all the way up by 8:30, which is crazy. Price comes all the way back down here to make a new low and break structure. We get a crazy pullback, but this wick is way too long, so price continues back up, pullback, and this is probably a pullback that we look for, right? It's great. It goes up and back down, and this wick is shorter than this one right here, so let's actually consider that trade and we'll keep it. So this one would instantly hit take profit, and then we get another pullback over here after breaking this structure, and then price instantly hits take profit, and then we break structure, minor structure once again, and we have a nice pullback here, and boom, price continues and breaks structure completely. So one structure breaks, we have another pullback up here, but this wick is way too long. Even if we waited for the second wick or second candle, we'd still lose just because of how these candles are rejecting the same area over here, right? So price continues to pull up, another pullback here, and a push, but we wouldn't take this trade because again the wick is too long. So now we make another new high before we pull down, breaking the minor support here, get a pullback, but the body is way too tiny, and then we push back up, pull back up again to the resistance, but we couldn't crack it, and then we just plunge all the way down. As we're plunging, there's literally no pullback, so there's no way to get into this. And like seeing this is actually so crazy. But anyway, price goes down, it creates a support. We get our first pullback, but it's way too big relative to everything else. And also, we wouldn't want to take buys here, even if this is the greatest pullback ever. Plus, this wick is too big. We push back down, another pullback, and then we get this right here before pushing all the way up. I think there's some value in looking at these types of plays. I think I seen this type of thing yesterday as well too, where price actually broke down or broke up, and then on the 5-minute it did a little consolidation, made a support, and then there was one pullback before going back in the opposite direction. I'm going to take a look at those types of plays. So I'm going to screen capture this. So now we get a massive push. This wick is too long, and again we probably would have lost this anyway. Oh no, this would have been a dub, but again we're not going to take this. Push up, push down, pull back, but boom, too long of a wick, and price pushes back down once again. Again, like, you really have to use your discretion for these trades. I feel like on this day, taking every single pullback would have worked. On some days, it probably won't. Again, it's another thing that I'm gonna have to review and look at. Okay, so let's continue. And then we get into 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and that's pretty much the day, right? Are we going to be taking trades at 3:30? They have to be really good trades, right? These trades here, I don't think they're worth it to take at 3:30 again, because there's the wicks, right? It doesn't make any sense. So now let's actually tally up our trades and see how we did for the week. So I'm going to start on the 18th. And then it's 18, 22nd, and then we'll go all the way through the week and just tally them up. And then we'll also look at break even as well too. So here's the 18th. Here is the 18th. All right, we're gonna look at no break even first. So first trade on Monday, these were sells, they would have been profitable, great. Second trade, profitable, great. Third trade, profitable, great. So great start to the week. If I were to use 3 micro contracts, this will be the profit, 324. If it was 1 mini, it would be 1080. So again, great trades. Using that discretion is great. It's great. It's freaking great. So now we'll go into the 19th. So for the 19th was a crazy day too. So trade number 1, W. Trade number 2, L. Trade number 3, right here, L. Trade number 4, L. And that's fine. It happens sometimes. So let's move into the 20th. For the 20th, this was a tough day. There was actually only one trade, which is right here, and we lost this day too. So now moving to the 21st. For the 21st, we had trade number 1, W, trade number 2, L, and trade number 3, L. Perfectly fine. And now we have Friday, the 22nd. 22nd was a crazy day. There were multiple trades within 20 minutes of each other. So we have the first one, W, the second one, W, and then the third one, W. On this day, we probably could have extended the trade a lot more to earn more, but shit happens. So as it stands, this would have been how many trades? 14 trades in total for the week. That's not too bad. And then 1,800 if you're trading minis, and 540 if you're trading micros. So again, not too bad. There are only 2 bad days relatively, but let's see what that looks like for a auto break even. So it's going to be no break even. Now let's check out auto break even. So now if we had auto break even set up, this guy would probably have hit auto break even depending on when it went. So let's say it does hit it and we get 0 for trade number 1. Trade number 2 would have still been profitable. Trade number 3 would have still been profitable, so that's good. So now let's move to the 19th. On the 19th, let's see, pull up my ruler. We were looking for 40 ticks. Oops, I just made it disappear. But ticks, apply, done. This has got to be the worst tool ever. Okay. So 40 ticks. So this would have been good still on trade number 1, 18. Trade number 2. Still keep the 40. Trade number 2. This one is a tough one. This one would have pulled back. That would have been break even as well. Trade number 3, still at L. Trade, wait a second. Still 3 trades. So trade number 3 would have been an L. Trade number 4, still an L. So now let's move into the next day, the 21st. 21st, let's see, I think this would have actually been break even, but I'm not sure. So let's check our ticks. So 40 ticks. And this one, you know what, the 20th, I'm thinking, depending on the direction it went first, it would have been break even. But let's just say we lost it, just to be, negative. So let's move into the 21st now. And we'll take a look. So 21st, that first trade would still be 18. Second trade, we'd still be -9. Third trade, still -9. That's fine. And now let's look at Friday. For Friday again, first trade would still be good. Second trade right here would still be good. Third trade right here still be good. And again, we could always extend it out, right? It all really depends. But overall, what do we see here? Auto break even versus break even. There is quite a bit of a spread, right? We really made more on the auto break even, and I'm very surprised about that. Very surprised. Wow. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And you know what? Maybe I should really consider that auto break even. I'm gonna consider that for once I start my my challenge. But thanks for watching and keep trading. I'll continue doing this. Bye, guys.